So it seems like Paul Thomas Anderson is going to run the table for award season. He's won Best Director and Best Film at the Critic Choice Award and at the Golden Globes. And that does not bode well for Sinners and Ryan Coogler. I think they will win specialty awards. They won the Cinematic Award at the Golden Globes, which is like I think the Blockbuster Award, right? Al Roker was funny because he just said, I don't understand that category. It's for the film that makes a lot of money. Al. Oh my God, Roker. But I think Sinners will end up winning like Best Ensemble. Unfortunately, Ryan Coogler does not have a chance to win Best Director. And I'll talk about that later. So I've been a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson ever since Boogie Nights. So Paul Thomas Anderson, his dad was Ernie Anderson. He had a late night horror show where he played the guy named Ghoulardi, and then he left Cleveland and went to L.A. and became a successful voice actor. He became he did a lot of trailers. So back in the 70s, his voice was like the voice of movie trailers in the world. Like he wasn't that guy, but he was kind of like that dude. So then his son, Paul Thomas Anderson, his first film that I saw of his was Boogie Nights. I am a fan of Boogie Nights. I love Boogie Nights. I think Boogie Nights is one of the greatest movies ever made, especially in the 90s. It's just a fantastic film. Burt Reynolds was nominated. He should have won Best Supporting. He didn't win Best Supporting. William H. Macy wasn't nominated for Best Supporting. He should have been nominated for Best Supporting. Oh my God, his character arc in that film is amazing. It's amazing. I love Macy's fantastic, man. But Paul Thomas Anderson didn't win for Boogie Nights for Best Film and Best Director. His next film was Magnolia. Tom Cruise was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but they snubbed Tom Cruise again. He could have won for Magnolia, could have won for Born on 4th of July, but they finally gave him an honorary Oscar last year, which I don't even understand. I don't understand. You snub a person for all those years, and then you give him an honorary Oscar. So that was Magnolia. But the best chance that Paul Thomas Anderson had to win the Oscar was for There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis, he won everything. Like, I drank your milkshake. Shout out to Daniel Day. So he was winning, but There Will Be Blood didn't win the Oscar. That went to No Country for Old Men, an equally great movie by the Coen brothers. Now, the Coen brothers, they won Best Screenplay for Fargo, like around 96. But the Academy, being the Academy, said, oh no, we never gave the Coen brothers an Oscar. So they gave them the Best Film and Best Director, I think Screenplay too, for No Country for Old Men, which is a great movie. Like, it wasn't like they didn't deserve it, but in doing so, There Will Be Blood got knocked out. So nothing for Paul Thomas Anderson. We zoom ahead, that was like 2008. We zoom ahead to 2026, and the Academy and all these people said, oh my God, we never gave Paul Thomas Anderson anything. So now this is like his Scent of a Woman tour. This is that Scent of a Woman is the film by Al Pacino, where he won the Oscar beating out Denzel Washington for Malcolm X, which is just insane. But Al Pacino was snubbed for years because he could have won for Godfather 1. He could have won for Godfather 2. He could have won for Dog's Day Afternoon. He could have won for Serpico. Not for Scarface, even though we love Scarface, but not for Scarface. He had 4 shots of winning the Oscar in the 70s, and he was snubbed 4 times. So now we get to the 80s, and they say, oh my God, we never gave Al an Oscar, and they gave it to him for Son of a Woman. Well, this is what Paul Thomas Anderson, this is his Son of a Woman tour. So he's going to win everything. He's going to win Best Director and Best Film, which hurts Sinners. Sinners, I think it's a superior film. I think it's a more cultural film. Even though one battle after another, DiCaprio has 3 black women in it. The reviews on that has been mixed, and there's only 1 black male, and that was Wood Harris, the great Wood Harris. But he only had like a few lines in it. It's like, okay, so technically there's no black men in it. And Sinners, you got black men, you got black women, you got Asian. Like it's a full cultural experience in that film, and maybe that's why the Academy doesn't like it. So what's going to happen to Sinners? Well, they're going to win Best Ensemble. The SAG Awards is coming up. I think they're going to win Best Ensemble. The film's not going to win Best Film. Michael B. Jordan will probably get his Oscar later. He's on that Denzel Washington tour right now where people are noticing him. He's super talented, but he probably won't win he'll win for a role where he's playing some pimp. A pimp with soul. That's what he's going to win the Oscar for. Well, he might not take that role. But I think Michael B would get his later, or he'll get an honorary Oscar. For as far as Coogler, I do think Coogler has a chance to win Best Screenplay. But that seems to be the Oscar that if you're a black director and you do really good work, you tend to win that. You never win Best Director. Because in the history of the Oscars, there's never been a Best Black Director. John Singleton didn't get it for Boys in the Hood. Spike Lee didn't get it for Do the Right Thing or Malcolm X. Moonlight won Best Film, but the director didn't win. 12 Years a Slave won Best Film, but the director, Steve McQueen, black Steve McQueen, not the old school Steve McQueen, he didn't win Best Director. It seems like for some reason the Academy does not like giving black directors the award. I wonder why. It doesn't make any sense. But some of them end up winning screenplay awards. John Singleton was nominated for Boys in the Hood for Best Screenplay, but he didn't win. I thought he won all this time, but he never won. Spike Lee eventually won Best Adapted Screenplay for BlacKkKlansman. He didn't get it for Do the Right Thing. He didn't get it for Malcolm X, but he got it for BlacKkKlansman. You know how many years that was? You know how many years that was for Spike? And then he got an honorary Oscar. The only person that's Best Adapted Screenplay. So there's been a number of black writers who's won Best Adapted Screenplay. The only black person, I think, I'll say black director. It might be black person overall, but the only black director I've known that won Best Screenplay, not adapted, screenplay, is Jordan Peele for Get Out. He's the only one. So if Ryan Coogler wins Best Screenplay for Sinners, he'll be the second black director, or maybe the second black person overall, who won Best Screenplay, which is just ridiculous. I will never understand when you're as creative as a Spike or a John Singleton or F. Gary Gray or Ryan Coogler. Like, when you're that talented, how can you not win ever Best Director? And how can you not hardly win even Best Original Screenplay? It makes that means Robert Townsend too. Like, Robert Townsend, he could have won for 5 Heartbeats. Spike Lee could have won for the 5 Bloods. It makes no sense. So as we look at award season and Paul Thomas Anderson locking up all these awards for one battle after another, do you think he deserved it? If you know his filmography and if you liked his work over the years, do you think he deserves it for one battle after another? Or what film do you think he really deserved Best Director? And when it comes to Ryan Coogler and Sinners, what film do you think will have lasting power? Do you think it's One Battle After Another? Or do you think it's Sinners? Because even though PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, will have the awards on his mantle, Ryan Coogler made the most superior film.